Hi, my name is Graham Potter and I'd like to welcome you to another bonsai workshop. One of the things that I've noticed in the last 20 years as I've been involved with bonsai, and particularly over the last 10 years as I've travelled and taught bonsai in workshops and demonstrations, is one of the things that really seems to cause people problems is not knowing what to do with a piece of material. They look at something like the tree in front of me and don't quite know where to start. My response to that would be to say that, you know, when I was a baby I used to eat food and I wasn't very good at it, and I used to end up with it all down my front and all over the place, but as I carried on practicing I got better and better. So I believe that in bonsai, if you want to learn to style trees and to produce great bonsai, you have to be busy, you have to work and work and work, and after a while you go out and you look for things that perhaps are a little bit of a stretch for you, and that's what I brought into the workshop today. This is a mugo pine. This was collected in the Dolomite Mountains about 5 years ago, and at that time most of the foliage was probably half a metre away from the trunk, but as you can see today it's nice and compact, so it's ready to work. Mugo pine is very inclined to ground layer, so in the mountains where the trees are pushed over by snow and ice, the branches and the trunk may be pushed over to the point where it touches the ground. If it stays there, it will develop roots, which is what's happened here. So this was the original root of the tree in the ground. Something's hit this tree, probably ice. It's taken all the bark off the top and it's pulled this all out of the ground. And at this side of the pot where it's touched the ground, it's created, or it's grown roots. So we've got this interesting trunk. We've got very strong rooting on both parts of this trunk, and then at this point we've got a large sort of triangular swelling, which by conventional bonsai terms would be considered very ugly. But this tree has so much character. I just think that I'm going to have a go and see if we can turn something really interesting and unusual out of this. When styling bonsai for the first time, one of the things I consider very important is that we don't overstress the tree. And one of the things I've noticed that an awful lot of people do when they begin to style bonsai for the first time is, before they wire, they just simply remove too much foliage. The foliage really is the heart and soul of a tree. It's the part that soaks up the sunlight to create energy and fuel the tree's growth. And the more of that foliage we remove, the slower the tree is going to be able to grow afterwards. And in order to create a nice, mature looking finished image at the end of the demonstration, I believe it's very, very important that we keep as much foliage as is possible. In this shot of this tree you can see both areas of rooting, neither of which is significant enough to maintain the tree on their own. And that's why I've decided that we're going to have to keep both. As you can see, there's areas of shari here that have happened over a number of years. This is an old broken root. And then we've got this beautiful old natural weathered deadwood. It's just fantastic. And underneath, where the trunk was sheltered from the ice and rocks coming down the mountains, is the live vein. And then at this point you can see we have this large, what conventionally would be considered an ugly swelling in the tree. And then from this point we've got 2 or 3 nice thick branches with lots of close foliage. And those are what we're going to try and use to create the tree. One of the main reasons that people fail when they begin to style bonsai for the first time, and especially when they begin to work on more difficult and challenging material, is quite simply a lack of preparation. And preparation is something that I really can't show you on these videos, because the preparation of this particular material has taken 5 years. And that preparation has included sorting out the roots, so we've got a nice compact root system growing in good quality soil, and at the same time generating lots of back budding. As I said at the beginning, the foliage on this tree was originally half a metre away from the trunk, and as you can see now, there are buds right back inside on the short thick branches. If your foliage is too far from the trunk, you have to make some very ugly branch lines by twisting and folding the branches back in towards the tree. Whereas if you take your time and prepare your material correctly, when it comes to styling the tree, you actually pull the branches and the foliage away from the tree rather than trying to tuck them all back inside. So like I said, I can't show you that on the video, but it is a very, very important aspect of preparing and styling material like this and being successful.